Get up, you son of a bitch! Cause Pawn's drunk loves you.
What up, what up, what up? You already know this is Pawn's Drunk Boxing, a.k.a. Mr. Moonshine himself, a.k.a. El Adobo, a.k.a. El Sazón, a.k.a. El Borracho, a.k.a. Café Bustelo, a.k.a. El Pastor de Boxeo. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you at this side of heaven. God bless you all. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a good topic right here. This is a topic that needs to be had. It's time for us to unpack what they call it, epidemic in the sports world, in which these fighters, they just have women problems, man. They got women issues. Ladies and gentlemen, I think and I'm gonna be mentioning fighters that the world loves, the world appreciates, because this is past, present, and going to be future. This has been going on for a long time, but since the sport of boxing is the Wild Wild West, and let me start off like this. Let me start off like this, folks. Let me start off like this. It's unfortunate, but fighters are not looked as regular humans. Is the reason why the circumstances ain't the same in the sport of boxing. I'm gonna give you one example. Mike Tyson, my favorite, one of my favorite fighters, probably my favorite fighter of all time. I love Mike Tyson. But when Mike Tyson, let's be real, let's be honest. Mike Tyson is probably the most glorified, convicted rapist probably in the history of America outside of Christopher Columbus. Let's be real, let's be honest. That's Mike Tyson's my guy, right? Charles Edward Queso in the building, $100. Super Chari Parque a comprar gasolina de 93. La música de queso, ladies and gentlemen, la música de queso. The humanitarian of the YTBC in the building. La música de queso, dímelo, mi hermano. Hold on.
He's got his own money. I mean, the boy has got his own money.
DJ Camelo, Alex Sensation. Págame la música. Good looking out, Queso. Hope everything is good with you, man. Hope everything is good with you. Queso, man. Hey, yo, I thought I was going to slack off after 207. I thought I was going to slack off, Queso. But guess what, Queso? Hold on, Queso. Wait, Queso. Good looking. I appreciate you. Said Pastor, what up? I see you, my brother. Keep working. Take it as far as you can. Hold on, Queso. Because you was the guy, you was the man that challenged your boy Punch Drunk Boxing to get in shape. Hold on. Check this out, Queso. Hold on. Let me check this out, Queso. All right, Queso. Let's go. Let's go. You know, I did take a little break over the weekend and stuff like that. He said, Queso, con los $100, con los $100. Queso. La música. Ladies and gentlemen, with the $100 Super Chatty Party, become a member of Punch Drunk Boxing. It's un price de prima, ladies and gentlemen, it's un price de prima. He said, Queso. Yo, Tank tripping. don't lose it over a bartender, man. The wheels falling off, and no one can save him except himself. Paga la música, mi hermano. Hey, yo, man. Look, hey, yo, Queso, look, I'm about to talk about fighters that I didn't even know. I didn't even know was going through this ish. And look, we're gonna hold fighters accountable, and but also we're gonna hold some crazy women out there accountable as well. Not every case, the fighter is the problem. But in the end of the day, they put themselves in that situation. Fighters have a problem with women. Fighters have a problem with women. And look, and I think that goes beyond women. We're going to unpack why fighters have so much issues with women. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just not a culture. This is just not a culture or a race. This is a culture of fighters. It don't matter if you from the Eastern European. It don't matter from Mexico. It don't matter from the U.S. It don't matter if you black, white, Hispanic, Caribbean, Asian. It don't matter. Fighters historically have been violating domestic violence, physical domestic violence, hitting on women, killing women, shooting women. Ladies and gentlemen, we go. Let's get straight to it. But before I was saying, I said Mike Tyson, right? We're gonna start off with the guy that a lot of people know, right? We're gonna start off with a lot of people know. Mike Tyson. I am Mike Tyson. Let's be real. Let's be honest. I love Mike Tyson so much. I was a Mike Tyson fan so hard. I was a toxic Mike Tyson fan to the point where I still, and look, my apology. There's gonna be, shout out to the ladies that support the channel. I know I may say something that's gonna feel disingenuous in the end of the day, but yeah, come on, y'all real with me. The ladies on Punch Wrong Boxing, they understand that there's some crazy women out there that do ish for money, and then there's real victims. And I feel sorry for the real victims because we're living also in a society, the Me Too movement. We're living in a society right now where there's a lot of women that's trying to get the bag. And by getting the bag, and now there's a lot of, and the thing is, they highlighting those type of women that are trying to get the bag, falsely accusing men, which hinders the women that really getting violated. Because then when they come up forth and they speak, nobody's believing in them, because then now there's this trend of women trying to say that this man hit me, right? And then they come right back and say, oh no, it was a lie. And it happened also to Gervonta Tank Davis. That's why there's people out there that's giving Gervonta Tank Davis the benefit of the doubt, and there's people out there that's not giving Gervonta Tank Davis the benefit of the doubt due to what he did when he had that viral moment out there in the arena where he manhandled his baby mama, right? Queso said, they say he went to get her ass. If true, how no one ain't stopped that is facts. From my experience, it's hella security at Tussie Black suits with them bangers. Hey, yo, they saying that, look. They say that Gervonta Tank Davis, of course, you already know that Jake Paul, Gervonta Tank Davis is off. Jake Paul went on a rant on his ex-form known as Twitter and said a lot of things about Gervonta Tank Davis. As a matter of fact, let's just read what Jake Paul had to say about Gervonta Tank Davis. He stated, give me a second. I got you right here, folks. Jake Paul tweeted yesterday, Gervonta Davis is an actual walking human piece of garbage. Working with him is an absolute nightmare. The unprofessionalism and the bizarre requests that showing up hours late to shoots, to the numerous arrests and related accusations and lawsuits. If you support this man, you support the most vile sin a man can commit. It seems like for Jake Paul, the wild sin that a man could commit is violating women. I believe the most terrible sin that you could commit is being a pedophile, in my opinion. That is, in my opinion, the most vile sin any human being can make on this earth. Pedophiles. Those human beings should be struck dead right there. I believe that they should be struck by an electric chair right there. Pedophiles is the number one. The number one sin, in my opinion. Guess who agrees with me? What about y'all? What you think is the most vile sin? What you think is the most vile sin? I think it's pedos. No, pedos gotta die. They gotta die. They dead. Gotta die. And you two, don't be shadow banning me because I'm saying the truth. YouTube. All right? Tidy out shadow banning punch on boxing, aka Mr. Moonshot himself. Now, Gervonta Tank Davis is in his latest situation, and he has many. He has severals. But before the situation that he has right now, remember, a woman said that he hit her and all this stuff, and then she said it was a lie after that. After she wrecked his home, she put doodle in his toothbrush. You remember that? And she came out and said that Gervonta Tank Davis, they never did none of that. And this is why right now we're like this. Like, is she lying if this woman is lying? Because we already heard a woman lie on Gervonta Tank Davis. We seen him abuse a woman, but we also know that there was a woman that was lying on him as well. So now we like, kid, well, who's going to get the benefit of the doubt? Who's going to get the benefit of the doubt? A week before this situation of Gervonta Tank Davis, we seen Devin Haney go to his situation. His baby mama. Hey, yo, ladies and gentlemen, come on, let's be real, let's be honest. Let's just break it down, unbiased, logically, and objective. We know that his baby mom is a scoochie. You already know she's a scoochie from Miami, all right? She, what was he, Taz Angels? She's a Taz Angels. She been selling the GG juice ever since she was 19 years old, all right? I don't even know why Devin Haney got himself in this position, huh? But she said that Devin Haney, yo, there's so many. I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna unpack a lot of fighters that you're gonna be fan of. You are a fan of these fighters, and you're gonna be surprised. Yo, let's go with the names that we all know. Okay, I think I'm jumping because I could mention a bunch of names, right? So here you go. So we know that Mike Tyson, Desiree Washington was the girl, went to his hotel room, 4 o'clock in the morning. Mike Tyson ain't say, bitch, we ain't gonna be watching no damn General Hospital, huh? She said that he violated her and things of that nature. We, the hardcore boxing fans, were like, damn, you stole his prime away from us. As a matter of fact, the boxing world did not care. And this is a culture of a community that also does not care. Let's be real, let's be honest. Let's be real, let's be honest. Because even Jake Paul, shout out to Jake Paul, right? Shout out to Jake Paul. But Jake Paul, you was about to fight Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta Tank Davis already had a bunch of cases already. Now you felt like that. Now and I like what Jake Paul is doing in the sport of boxing. At the end of the day, he's keeping the eyes in the sport of boxing. But Jake Paul said all this thing about Gervonta Tank Davis. You ain't say that when y'all was promoting the fight. You ain't say that. And he had a bunch of cases before that. So now you felt like that about Gervonta Tank Davis? Matter of fact, if I was Jake Paul and Netflix and Most Valuable Promotions, if you feel like that towards Gervonta Tank Davis, I will take the fight. Let the fight keep going and then whoop his ass for the strength of women. How about that? That's the nature of the sport of boxing as well, right? At least you could beat a man to a pulp, huh? And you don't have to go to jail. You should have whooped his ass, Jake Paul. You should have took that opportunity. You 200 pounds. I think that you could whoop him in real life. Yeah, I think so. But anyway, smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a touchy subject. There's going to be people out there that's going to relate to the fighters. There's going to be people out there that's going to relate to the women. There's men out there that they've been falsely accused. There's people out there that have been falsely accused and lost everything and still can't gain it back even when the truth came out. Right? Mike Tyson, my favorite fighter, is the most celebrated, one of the most beloved fighters and personnel in the history of sports. He was convicted of raping Desiree Washington, ladies and gentlemen. Jake Paul, did you fight Mike Tyson? Jake Paul, did you fight Mike Tyson? Netflix? You know his past, so I don't know if Jake Paul is actually genuine the way that he feels about Gervonta Tank Davis. I don't know. Maybe Netflix was the one that said, you know what? I don't think we can do this. This ain't the normal business model where you used to have pay-per-view. This is Netflix. We're not gonna have these shenanigans around here, right, Jake Paul? You better get this midget out of here, all right? Give me another opponent, and then we could come back around and do business. But now, this not the zone, buddy. This not the zone. This not Showtime. This ain't paper. This ain't Triller, all right? This Netflix. We got some integrity around here. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go through some fighters. Why are most of these fighters violating these women? Why are most of boxers? What is going on in the noggin of a fighter? Now, I'm going to tell you like this. This is what I really believe. I've been around a bunch of fighters ever since I was a child, bro. Fighters. And some fighters going to listen to me right now and be like, nah, some fighters going to agree with me. Some fighters going to be, it's unfortunate, but that's the truth. Some fighters going to be like, hell nah, I'm human. The world do not see fighters as regular human beings. Ladies and gentlemen, I always say this throughout the years of me talking boxing. I said health is the last thing that the fans care about a fighter. You know why? Because our entertainment, we spend our money, our hard-earned money to see a human strip the health from another human. And sometimes we're hypocrites as well. We contradict ourselves. We're the same people, ladies and gentlemen, because we all got the whole culture in the sport of boxing need to take accountability. I'm not trying to put their mess on us. These men got to pay for what they do to these ladies. And these ladies got to pay with false accusation as well. But yet, let's take this one serious. The culture itself is a problem. Because I remember also, Gervonta Davis leading up to the Lamar Roach fight had an interview. And he said he wants to seek help, but he can't seek, but he's skeptical about seeking help because he feels like his killer instinct is not going to be there. Gervonta Davis has said in several interviews that he wants to seek help because he wants to be a good father. He wants to be a good father to his daughter. He wants to be a good father to his son. And you know what the world of boxing said? Shut up. Stop ducking this one. Stop ducking that one. Come on, man. Fight for legacy. They didn't give a damn about him seeking help. The world of boxing was chastising him. Let's also not forget when Ryan Garcia pulled out of a fight because his mental wasn't right. Around that time, Ryan Garcia was having an issue with his baby mama. Guess what the boxing world was calling Ryan Garcia when he pulled out of a fight to get his mind right because of the situation he was having with his baby mama? We called him a diva. You the pull-out king. Stop being a diva and fight. Stop being a bitch and fight. See, I noticed also that when these fighters do speak about their mental state, we don't give a damn either. We want them in the ring. We don't give a damn. Just like we didn't give a damn about Mike Tyson and what he could potentially could have done or did. We don't know. I give Mike Tyson the benefit of the doubt, but let's be honest. I only gave Mike Tyson the benefit of the doubt because I wanted to see him in the ring, and I'm a fan of Mike Tyson. I am a fan of the entertainment. I'm a fan because of the entertainment purposes. When Mike Tyson came back, I was young, freshman in high school. I was like, yes, go Mike, he's back. I didn't give a damn about Desiree Washington. The whole world ain't give a damn about Desiree Washington, ladies and gentlemen, because that's the nature. We don't give a damn. All these fighters, 90% of the fighters are abusing their women. 90% of their fighters is beating their women. And we don't give a damn. That's the problem. That's a culture. Let's be real. Let's be honest. Let me just name a few. We already named Gervonta Davis. We'll go back to Gervonta Davis. Let's read. Because there's so much is overwhelming, ladies and gentlemen. So much. It is overwhelming. Hold on. Let's see who he's going to start with. Smash that like, smash that like. Floyd Mayweather. Let me take the thing out of the way. Floyd Mayweather has a disturbing history of domestic violence. Ladies and gentlemen, who's the most lucrative fighter of all time? Money May. Money May recently was out there giving it up for Israel. That ain't hold Mayweather back. Ladies and gentlemen, did that hold Mayweather back? As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you like this. Mayweather got convicted for beating up his late baby mama. Rest in peace, Harris. And the Nevada court wanted Mayweather go on. I think it was the fight with Mark. It was the fight with Cotto. Yeah, get the fight with Cotto. Bring all that money to Nevada, and then after the weekend, you could go. Then you could turn yourself in and go to jail. They wasn't serious about it. He was convicted. They let him fight, and then they put him to jail. Now, we need Floyd Mayweather in the ring. We need them tickets. We need them. We need all these people that are gonna come to Vegas and book them hotels and stuff like that. We need that money because Floyd Mayweather was bringing a lot of money to Vegas. Floyd Mayweather went to jail for domestic violence, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep on going. Let's keep on going. Let me see this. Let's see. Let's see who's next. Let's see who's next. Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner has a history of legal troubles that includes past charges related to domestic violence, specifically 2008, 2012. Broner was arrested and faced domestic violence charges in both 2008 and 12. The charges were from 2008 incident where he eventually dropped, as were the 2012 charges. Like I said, there's allegations, false allegations, facts. Some of these guys go to jail. Some of these guys kill their women. Some of these guys, it's just all over the place. But what I'm trying to say is, most of these fighters, in their top of their game, when they're in their top, is got these issues with women. What is going on? Let's keep on going. Did you remember this, folks? Did you remember this, ladies and gentlemen? Paul Spendafora. Paul Spendafora shot his girlfriend in the chest. Paul Spendafora, who served time in prison for shooting his girlfriend in the chest, is now facing charges for allegedly assaulting a 63-year-old woman. Anybody remember this story? Did y'all remember this story? So, I good looking now con los 50 pesos. Charles Education said, I don't give a damn about it all on personal level. I'm mad selfishly. 12 weeks build up. Got excited. And bam, it's off. Like, bruh. Then the undercard and all that training, the dashed plans. Fuck, look. It's not the pressure to perform. It's the pressure of the people. See, look at Queso. Man, I don't give a damn about their personal issue, man. I want to see a damn fight. Queso's like, I don't give a damn. Do whatever you want to do with the lady. Have an argument, beat her up, slap her up, let that bitch slap you up, go to jail, come out, pay your lawyer fees and stuff like that. I don't give a damn. Go to Judge Judy or Judge Mathis. I don't give a damn. It just give me the goddamn fight. That's what Queso. See, Queso was a boxing fan. Queso is part of the culture. I don't give a damn what you do to your lady. I don't give a damn what the lady do to you. I don't give a damn if she willy your butthole. I don't give a damn if you Josue Vargas and the dude with a beard is sucking your wall. I don't give a damn. That's what Queso say. Queso say, go to damn train, all right? Work out, come with a game plan, and I see you fight night. See, Queso, he is what a boxing fan is. Fight fan. You remember when what's his name? Conor McGregor? When Conor McGregor is crazy. When Conor McGregor told the dude if he wants a drink, and the dude said, I don't want no drink from you. And Conor McGregor, he offered the dude a drink. The dude ain't want to take the drink, and he punched him. The dude was like 75 years old, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta say this. Good looking out, okay? So appreciate you with the $50. Ahí pa un buffet, Indian buffet con la familia, a picar la lengua de los niños. I appreciate you, my brother. God bless you, man. Hey, yo, okay, so how's your health? Talk to me, my brother. You already know, man. Always on my mind, bro. Always in my prayers, my brother. How's the health? Talk to us, Queso. Cause you motivated to get my health right. All right? For real, bro. Trust me, my brother. I'm grateful for that challenge. I'm grateful for that healthy challenge, my brother. Cause I'm very, very grateful, bro. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, brothers have to challenge one another. You know what I'm saying? For the greater good. And also rip to rest in peace to Victor Conte. My condolences go out to his family, his loved ones, his friends. I text my brother Demis Andre. He's very, very close to Victor Conte and stuff like that. Y'all already know, man. He died fighting pancreas cancer, something like that. But yeah, man, I know that we have heavily criticized Victor Conte because of his past, but also he did try to resurrect himself, resurrect his career, resurrect who he is, and try to turn, trying to turn another leaf. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta give him props for that. And I think for the most part, I did it for the important people in the sport of boxing. I think they have forgiven him. They forgave him, and that's the beauty about boxing. See, because we're talking about look. That's the beauty about boxing. I don't want to be a hypocrite or contradict myself. That's the beauty about boxing is that we have a very forgiving culture as well. See, he can't go to the NBA and do that. He can't go to the NFL and do that. He couldn't go to the MLB or track and field or work with potential Olympians. Boxing is what gave Victor Conte a second chance. Just like these fighters. This is what boxing does. Boxing is the wild, wild west. This is where if you got dirty money, people come over to the sport of boxing and clean it up. You could be a street dude, get yourself a fighter. And you know what I'm saying? This is where the dirty money get cleaned up. This is where Daniel Cunningham was doing business. This is a mafioso was doing business out here. But this is the reason why a lot of these fighters that also abuse women get a pass because of the sport of boxing. Was that dude, remember that running back? Was it a running back from the Baltimore? Did he ever play an NFL game ever again? The one that, remember the elevator that he slapped that woman up? What's his first name? I think his last name was Rice. Y'all remember that? He didn't never got picked up again, right? Fraps for Boxing Night at the Voice of the UK, London. He never got picked up again, right? Christian in the building. Let's go, Christian. Hold on. Let's go a little bit forward. Let's go more. All right. So y'all heard Paul Spendafora, right? Shout out to Paul Spendafora. He's still with, hey, yo, put it this way. Paul Spendafora is still with his wife, the same girl that he shot in the chest. Paul Spendafora. Think about it, females. Y'all talk about a dude cheating on you. Whether he gonna take you back. Some of these girls get hit by their dude, they take him back. Paul Spendafora's wife. Paul Spendafora shot his girl in the chest and she took him back. If Paul Spendafora was cheating on his girl, that shit was nothing. Ray Rice. Ray Rice never played. Yeah. Ray Rice never got in the gridiron again, right? But nah, Gervonta Davis, after manhandling his baby mama in front of the whole world in a pack arena with 30,000 people or 20,000 people, this dude sold out the Atlanta. They loved him. They loved him. Let's go. Let's keep on going. Let's keep on going. Let's keep on going. Let's keep on going. Let's look for another fighter. Let's see another fighter. Let's see another fighter. Let's see another fighter. Because it's too many. Past, present, and going to be future. Julio Cesar Chavez, a beloved fighter. People love Julio Cesar Chavez. Julio Cesar Chavez was accused of domestic violence by his wife in 1996 lawsuit, and his son Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has made public accusation that his father beat his mother. In 1996 lawsuit, less than a week after a boxing loss in June 1996, his then wife Amelia filed a lawsuit in Mexico alleging domestic abuse. The lawsuit claimed that while drunk, Chavez Sr. grabbed her hair, punched her in the face and neck and arms, and threatened to... This Julio Cesar Chavez, ladies and gentlemen. Don't we all love Julio? Don't we all love Julio? All the damn Julios. Julio Iglesias. Julio Cesar Chavez. Julio, the dude in La Bodega that gives you credit. Don't we all love Julio? To be honest, I don't remember this shit when I was young. Maybe, think about it, 1996. Think about it, 1996. Everything, a lot of shit was popping in 1996. Tupac died in 1996. The next year, in 1997, Big Pun died, right? Or Biggie died, right? A lot of shit was popping 1996, 1997. Mike Tyson. So this one right here, I don't remember this. I don't remember this. Don Julio, we all love that. Davo said Don Julio, we love Julios. Pause. Julio Cesar Chavez, Julio Iglesias, Don Julio. Rapstar said, oh, Dion, oh yeah, I got, yo, Rapstar, I'm already ahead of you, my brother. We going to that. We are going to that. This is Devin Haney, ladies and gentlemen. Devin the Dream Haney. They're going to be facing Brian Norman Jr. Brian Norman Jr., November 22nd out there in Saudi Arabia. No, February 2024, during the dispute, Haney allegedly punched her in the stomach and kicked her out of the house. In December 2024, when Sadie was 9 months pregnant, Haney allegedly pushed her to the ground because she would not give him her phone. Haney allegedly threatened her via text message in June 2025, stating she will be handled in the streets. This woman said that Devin Haney punched her in the stomach while she was pregnant. But put it this way, later on, she said that the news was inaccurate. The charges is dropped. Now they co-parenting, ladies and gentlemen. But you see a pattern here also. See, she impressed charges on Devin Haney. She was going for sole custody. She wanted child support. maybe they get together and be like, yo, woman, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna give you more money than what the court is gonna give you. I'm gonna give you more money, bitch. Hold on. We know why I got you anyway. There's a lot of cases where the cases is dropped. 10 case dropped. Let's see. We got more. We got more, ladies and gentlemen. We got more. Oh no, I already did that one. Which is this one? Boxer Deontay Wilder has faced recent domestic violence allegation from his ex-fiancée, Telly Swift, who was granted a temporary restraining order in June 2024. He was also arrested on domestic battery charge in separate incident in 2013, in which Deontay Wilder did cooperate and did say that he committed those actions in 2013, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we all know that Deontay Wilder got a freakish got freakish power. We all know he got freakish power. Deontay Wilder allegedly abused that good-looking Filipino / black chick, Swift. And his baby mama in the past. As a matter of fact, there's more. There's more for Deontay Wilder. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Give me a sec, folks. Give me a sec. This is very disturbing, ladies and gentlemen. This is very disturbing. All right, give me a sec. Give me a sec. Deontay. There you go. There you go. Boxer Deontay Wilder currently facing domestic violence. Okay, we already read that. 2024 restraining order. In June 2024, a judge in Los Angeles granted Telly Swift a temporary restraining order against Wilder based on her allegation of a physical or emotional abuse throughout their relationship. Allegation: Swift alleged that Wilder physically assaulted her at least 10 times. Hold on, let me get this thing out of the way. Oh my goodness. Swift alleged that Wilder physically assaulted her at least 10 times, choked her at least 5 times, and once nearly suffocated her with a pillow. She also claimed he threw her out of their Atlanta home in April 2024 while she was recovering from surgery, monitored her via home surveillance system, and was emotionally abused. Court date. A court hearing for the matter was scheduled for June 25, 2024, where Wilder would have the opportunity to argue his case. The outcome of the specific hearing is not specific in the snippets. Past 2013, Wilder was arrested in Las Vegas in May 2013 on a felony count of domestic violence, strangulation. Details: the victim has visible injuries, including a swollen eye, a cut lip, and a potential broken nose and red marks on her neck. Outcome: Wilder's attorney claimed it was a misunderstanding and that Wilder had insensitively acted under the false impression that someone was stealing from him. You notice that in both cases, he attacked is allegedly that he attacked because he feels somebody was robbing him or something, but maybe that's just his mind. These they fighters, they get punched in the head for a living. The attorney also stated that the victim accepted Wilder's apology, and they hope the matter will be resolved quickly. But the final legal outcome, while you apologizing, if you don't think that you hit it, but he did. Can you imagine Deontay Wilder, one of the most freakish power in the history of the sport of boxing, hitting a woman? You remember even Mike Tyson when he was doing that interview and with Oprah, and Oprah was like, "Did you ever hit Givens or something like that?" Or I forgot. He said you know, but I mean, she put hands on me, and I put my hands on her. That's the type of relationship that we had. Yeah, he said he muffed her. Mike Tyson muffing you, a woman, but we love Mike. We still wanted to see Deontay Wilder in the ring. We still wanted to see Gervonta Tank Davis in the ring. Are we accepting as a culture these fighters hitting, physically harming women? Are we part of the problem? Maybe because we always give them the green light. We always enable them. Because in the end of the day, all we want to see is a fight. As a community, let's for real. Yeah. A lot of people's on Twitter. A lot of people going at Gervonta Tank Davis. But if I tell you right now that Gervonta Tank Davis in negotiations to fight Shakur Stevenson, would you support the fight? Yes or no? Or you want me to go to court? I'm gonna say it again. We see the allegations towards Gervonta Tank Davis once again. If Turkey Al Sheikh comes out and says, listen, boxing world, my friends, we're having a good fight. We're having a fight made up for everyone. Las Vegas, December 20-something. We have Gervonta Tank Davis unification bout with a Shakur Stevenson. Do you want to watch it or do you want Tank in jail? Do you want it? Let's be honest. Come over here, my Tank Thunder. Do you want Gervonta Tank Davis to fight Shakur Stevenson in unification bout, or do you want him in jail? You'll probably be like, hold up, judge. Let Tank and Shakur fight. Then can you put him in jail on Sunday? That's what we'll say. Just like they did to Floyd Mayweather. Christian said, nah, let me get... Yeah. What about if it's Tio and Tank? If Turkey Al Sheikh says, I got Tio and Tank headlining Las Vegas in December, do you want Tank to go to jail or you want to see the fight? Come on now. Christian said, I'm going to the fight. Hey, yo, Christian Padilla is the type to file a petition to the judge that said, please let him fight. Because at the end of the day, the boxing world do not care. I'm sorry. I got a cold. Charles at the Chief said, fight, then go to jail. Hey, yo, okay, so most of the people feel like that. Most of the people feel like that. Don't go to jail? Hell no. The boxing community, and I'm just not talking about the fighter, I'm talking about the media, the fans. We're geared a different way. We don't care. See, all this typing on Twitter and a bunch of people, I see y'all on X formerly known as Twitter. I see you on the comment section. I see we do little videos here and there. Shut the F up. We don't care. We want Gervonta Tank Davis back in the ring. Let's be real. Let's be honest. We'll be like, damn, man, that's effed up. Damn, Tank is an asshole. Man, damn, Tank, he don't know how to treat women. Yo, damn, Tank this, man. Damn, Tank is effed up. Tank gotta pay. Tank is abusive. Man, he don't got no respect for the ladies. He needs help. He needs help. He needs help. Hey, yo, Tank is about to fight Shakur Stevenson. Do you want me to get help? Do you want him to pull out of the fight with Shakur Stevenson or Teofimo Lopez so he could seek help and seek therapy? No, you don't want to. You want to see the fight. Shut the fuck up. Let's be real. Let's be honest. We're just as barbaric. We're just as barbaric. He said, but if it was 2 months out, then... Yo, okay, so he's stupid. He said, don't keep me waiting, though. Shit, don't keep me. I'm gonna give you Thanksgiving, Christmas, but if it goes all the way to New Year's Eve to 2026, then go to jail. Take him to jail. Take him to jail. Policia, lock him up. Lock him up. Yeah, que no quiero nothing. Lock him up. He said, I'm gonna give you Thanksgiving and I'm gonna give you Christmas. You pass that mark, you go to get the 2026. Now get the hell out of here with 2026. It's a new year. Is a new year. No new friends. No new friends. Fake Paul fights are more scripted than Mexican soap opera. Marima Pancho. Am I lying? Do you want Gervonta Davis to go to jail? Or you want to see a unification bout with Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis? A fight with T.O. and Tank. The rematch with Lamar Roach and Tank. Come on now. Punch T.O. and Shakur, done deal. Both of these guys verbally agreed already. Been agreed. They waiting on, they put it this way, Charles at the Cheese. Both of these guys has signed a disclosure in which both of them cannot say, excuse me, when they're gonna fight. They both signed a disclosure that they can't talk about it publicly, and the people that there's gonna be an announcement, and they cannot make the announcement. They gotta let the people make the announcement, and that's what it is. I think they're trying to fix the card for February. I truly think that I don't think the fight is gonna be here. I think it's gonna be a Reha season 2024, and I think they're gonna wait on what Virgil Ortiz is probably gonna be doing this weekend. And maybe they will figure out to put a Virgil. Hold on, I think they're gonna stack the card with I think what they're trying to do is stack the card with T.O. Shakur, Josh Kelly versus Bakram. Might going to have to do a Virgil and a Boots or something for Boots. But I think it's gonna be T.O. Shakur, T.O. Shakur, Josh Kelly Bakram, and Andy Cruz versus Moretaya. I think that's gonna be a card. I think that's gonna be a card. Source. I think that's going to be the card right there. I think it's going to be T.O. versus Shakur, Josh Kelly versus Bakram, and Andy Cruz versus Moretaya. And maybe Keyshawn Davis is going to be in that card as well. Do not be surprised if you see a Keyshawn Davis versus Richardson Hitchens. I very highly doubt, but I think you're going to see a Richardson Hitchens in that same card or Keyshawn Davis in that same card. Manny. Con los 5 pesos. Do you think T.O. versus Shakur is happening or T.O. versus Pacquiao? I think T.O. and Shakur is going to happen. Again, I just said I think that T.O. and Shakur can't really talk about it. That's why you don't see a lot of them doing too many interviews and stuff like that and saying that, yes. I mean, I think T.O. want to really, rush this. But I think they're giving Turkey out shake, because the way they've been doing business with T.O., I think they have a disclosure and T.O. can't really say the details of it. I won't be surprised at the Manny Pacquiao situation as well, but I think they're waiting on these cards because, February 2020, February is the big, I think is the where Turkey really does his thing with the Prince. Good looking out, Manny. Queso con los 50 pesos. Queso con los 50 pesos. I need to see Keyshawn again, man. He was rolling. Another one stopped his own bread. Fuck. My black folk gotta stop doing that shit, man. Hey, yo, they gotta stop. But everybody is effing up their own bread. Gervonta Tan Davis effed up the bread. Teofimo Lopez effed up the bread. Keyshawn Davis effed up the bread. Ryan Garcia effed up that big bread, losing to Rolly Romero, right? He effed up the bread. Devin Haney wasn't trying to F up the bread. He said, man, give me anybody. Do you want to fight? Do you want to fight, Brian? I dare you to pull out. If you pull out, know the business. To be honest, as much as I'm picking Devin Haney to beat Brian Norman Jr., I think they was pressured to fight Brian. I don't think they really wanted to fight Brian Norman Jr. It's just that if they wanted to keep on getting that purse, that money that they signed for before fighting Jose Ramirez, they're gonna have to say yes. And they just say yes. I'm not saying that he wouldn't fight. I don't think that they truly was looking to really fight Brian Norman Jr. Okay, so say, yo, I that's crazy punch. I really got Norman sleeping that man. Look, that's the only way I see Brian Norman Jr. beating Devin Haney. The thing is, I'm not convinced by Brian Norman Jr. yet. I know he's a good kid, hard worker. His father is doing a good job promoting his son. They're a fighting family. It's either Devin Haney wins a 115, 113, 116, 112 card, or Brian Norman Jr. sleeps Devin Haney. I think that's the only way it's gonna go. But the thing is, if Devin Haney fights the way that he was fighting Jose Ramirez, I think he's gonna survive. Because look, ladies and gentlemen, I hear when people say, hey, yo, man, you gotta learn how to cut the ring off. Nobody goes to the gym to learn how to catch a runner. Nobody trains like the way that Devin Haney was fighting. Nobody trains like that. There's no way. You don't train to cut the ring off from a runner like that. So when people be like, oh no, it's his job to cut the ring off. Nobody in the gym running like that. Gasso said Devin only got reach on him though. Thing is, Devin Haney know how to survive. If he does what he did to Jose Ramirez, I don't know. The thing is, I haven't seen too much of Brian Norman Jr. in the elite level. I always say that his resume is so manufactured, man. Yo, he got 17 fighters. I believe it's 17, 16 fights with upside down records and stuff like that. Like, I don't, that Santian victory was good, but I didn't think too much of Alexis Rocha anyway, and I didn't think too much of Santian anyway. And that fight in Japan, yeah, he made a statement, entertainment fight for entertainment purposes. But I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a tough one to call. Not a tough one to call. I'm giving Devin Haney the benefit of the doubt because his resume, who he beat, how I've seen him in different ways and how he could win. That performance with Regis Progress is really, really, really good. I'm trying to stay. I don't know if Devin Haney got momentum. I don't think that's one thing. I don't think Devin Haney got momentum. I think the Brian Norman Jr. got the momentum. But when it comes to the IQ, the experience, and I know that don't win fights too much, especially nowadays, it's a tough one to call. Do you think T.O. will sign with Golden Boy, especially if Ryan B? Nah, no. T.O. T.O. won't sign with Golden Boy. I think that he's good with Keith Connolly. The only way that Teofimo Lopez will sign with Golden Boy if he loses again, and then those are the only options. And Oscar De La Hoya, because Oscar De La Hoya loves him and stuff like that, he'll be like, you know what, just sign with me, man. Let's resurrect your career. But after he truly splits up with Top Rank, I think he'll just work with Keith Connolly and stuff like that. Let Keith Connolly work his magic. Because if Keith Connolly could work his magic with Edgar Berlanga without a promotional deal, if he gets Richards and Hitchens a big fight without a promotional deal, then why would T.O. sign to Golden Boy Promotions if Keith Connolly already got a good relationship with Turkey Al Sheikh? But let's talk about more of the more. Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, let me know why you think these fighters violating these women. I'm gonna tell you like this about these fighters. I've been around fighters enough. Fighters normally are very insecure human beings. Fighters are very emotional human beings. Don't let what they do in the ring fool you. You already heard the saying that fighters that boxing is a lonely sport. Boxing is a lonely sport. Let me tell you like this. These fighters, when you see them skills, that skill set that Gervonta Tank Davis have, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Floyd Mayweather, all these guys stood in the gym. It's so weird that fighters, especially professional fighters in that level, could be so disciplined. Look at Gervonta Tank Davis in that ring. Look at Floyd Mayweather in that ring. Put it this way, Floyd Mayweather was so disciplined. Floyd Mayweather was so disciplined in that Zab Judah fight where he got lowballed. Very disciplined. Floyd Mayweather is one of the most disciplined fighters that we have ever seen. But when it comes outside of the ring with females and women, what happened to all that discipline? What happened to all that restraint? What happened to that? In the heat of war, Floyd Mayweather knew how to compose himself, how to be relaxed, chill, even when a fighter gets hurt. Even Floyd Mayweather, when he got hurt by Shane Mosley, held his composure, adjusted. But when it comes to women, he can't keep that same discipline. Women could get to his head. Women could spike his emotions. Even when Floyd Mayweather with Victor Ortiz, you see how he calculated all of that. Very disciplined, chilled. Oh, you headbutted me. Okay, got you. Bang. Very disciplined. But when it comes to women, all that discipline is out the window. How can you be so disciplined in the art of war, but can't exercise that same discipline with a female? Think about that. How will a fighter that lowballed you in front of everybody, you can still know how to keep your composure? Make adjustment when you get clocked. Don't have all your faculties. You can still be disciplined and still keep your composure. Get headbutted. Still could keep your composure. But this chick got a mouth. And galleta. You lose everything. You lose all discipline. My thong in the building was good. Ray writes she was a regular girl. Put it this way. Let's talk a little bit more about the nature of fighters. And there's fighters in the chat. If there's any fighter in the chat or on X, let me know. I'll send you the link. I want to know or clarify the things that I'm saying. Fighters, most of these high-profile fighters, great skills. Gym rats. You got to be a gym rat to be that skillful. You had to have discipline to hold that skill set. You had to have discipline to reach where these guys have reached. That takes discipline. That takes hard work. That mental strength, mental toughness. They say it is the sweet science, right? They go to the amateur circuit. They're in all these tournaments, especially the high-profile fighters. Gervonta Tank Davis was almost in 250 amateur bouts. Just think about all them training camps. That's before he entered pro. I used to say this, though. You ever heard Gervonta Tank Davis speak? Dude speaks slow. Let me say also like this. A lot of these fighters, by the time that they're entering the pros, they already got brain damage. But the culture in boxing is they be passing the exam. They pass the physical. The commission let them pass the physical. There's too much money. Ladies and gentlemen, I do believe that if we're privy and of all these and all these fighters go to Ohio and get their brain scanned. All these fighters that we admire, they already got brain damage. All of them got brain damage. I know fighters. I won't even mention the name because I'm not gonna say. I'm not even gonna mention their name. I know fighters personally that by the time they was entering the pros, they didn't even have a pro fight. They already had brain damage. They already have gray areas. A bunch of these fighters right now have gray areas. I would not doubt that Gervonta Davis already has brain damage. And not just a little bit of tiny. All of them. All of them. You can't tell me you've been fighting since you were 6, 5 years old, been sparring since say 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and you don't got nothing there. No. That's the wear and tear. Now, are they all going to be sounding like, now they think brain damage, people think that brain damage is that you got to sound like, that you got to look like Muhammad Ali, that you got to sound like James Toney, that you got to sound like Shane Mosley. Look at Shane Mosley. Little by little, the older he gets, how does Shane Mosley sound? Even Shane Mosley in his last fight, in his last real fight, he didn't sound like that he sound right now. Shane Mosley is like this, going there, going there. Look at his speech. He already got white all over it. He's spitting while he talk, slurring all over the place now. He sounds just as much as James Toney right now. You don't think Floyd Mayweather repeating himself? Floyd Mayweather in almost every interview repeats the same thing. You could put an interview in 2024, Floyd Mayweather, and put an interview in 2019, and he's saying the same thing. He's AKA I make smart investment. He says the same thing. Like if he didn't if he didn't say what he already said. All his interview, he's saying the same thing. Like he sounds like my late grandmother. My grandmother, every time my grandmother told me, every time I was chilling with her, she would tell the same story when I was young. She would tell the same story. She would say the same story for like 10 minutes. 30-minute pass or an hour pass, somebody comes in the room and she'll say the same story. That's Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather remind me of them old, that repeat stories, the same thing. Floyd studied. I've noticed that. See, the thing is, people don't know. I've Savage, shout out to Savage in the building. I've noticed that about Floyd Mayweather. A lot of people don't notice that. But I noticed that about Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather got something there. Floyd Mayweather doesn't got all his faculties. But anyway. Floyd Mayweather had domestic violence issue. Floyd Mayweather Sr. had domestic violence issues. Roger Mayweather had domestic violence issue. The whole family. The whole family had domestic violence issue. Except Jeff Mayweather. I never heard Jeff Mayweather have it. But three out of the Mayweathers, 3 out of the 4, domestic violence issue. So I'm saying these guys are coming in the pro, right? And the amateurs, they're staying busy. Let me tell you about these fighters. These fighters have no friends. These fighters truly don't have real friends because while they was coming up, they was living a lifestyle that is not a norm. A life of a fighter is not a normal life. So the people around you is not your homeboys like that. It's not. It's a bunch of adults that's waiting to cash in on you. These fighters don't know nothing about contracts. That's why most of these fighters, they realize they signed a bullshit contract. Everybody's doing things for you. Everybody getting your sponsors for you. These guys can't even handle their own business. They sign with their teens. They got financial issues. They got social skills issues. And this is what happens to fighters. So fighters are socially awkward. Just because you see them in social media or in interviews, you turn that camera off. It's not fight week no more. And their life is, what am I doing now? But let me get there because I'm skipping stages right now. So, okay, they're the amateurs. They fighting in this tournament, the Caribbean tournament, American tournament, Pan American, the World Games and stuff like that. They go to Ukraine, they go to Russia. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking about American fighters, but just think about all the fighters around the world. right? They fighting 3 times a week. Colorado Springs, National, Golden Gloves. They fighting like 3 times a week, all these tournaments. They eating right. They in the gym. They don't have time for new friends. They don't have time for girlfriends. They're socially awkward. They're behind. Fighters are behind when it comes to social. They have an entourage that's not even a real entourage. These are just friends that they picked up along the way. I've seen these entourages. Most of the guys around Devin Haney is Bill Haney's peoples. Look at the locker room. Look at the locker room of Edgar Berlanga. That's not Edgar Berlanga's all his friends. Those are his father's peoples. Fat Joe and all these people are cool with his father, with Brian Norman, with Edgar Berlanga Sr. Ain't none of these dudes around Edgar Berlanga that he grew up with. Tio walks alone in the street. Tio don't have an entourage of friends. Rolly don't have an entourage of friends. Rolly don't have no friends. He don't have an entourage of friends. I seen Rolly when he was in New York City. I know he was around. He was around people that I know. Shout out to the Big Rob. Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia said a long time ago, these people I just met, that when people said, yo, you need to keep people away from you. Ryan Garcia was raised in the gym. Virgil Ortiz chill with his dad. All these guys don't have real friends. They didn't have time to make friends. None of these guys know them in their neighborhood. Ask any fighter, go to their neighborhood. These guys don't really know they wasn't popping off in the neighborhood like street kids. They were recreational kids. They was in the gym. So they're socially awkward. Then what happens? They enter the pros. They're still fighting enough. In the beginning of the career, they're still fighting 4 fights a year, 4 rounders, 6 rounders. And this what happens to the fighters now. Then a fighter gets into contentions, right? They're about to fight for world titles and stuff like that. The number of fights lessen. Now they're fighting 2 times a year. And guess what happens? And guess what's happening now to these fighters when they're fighting 2 times a year? For the first time in their life, in a very, very long time, they got a lot of time for themselves and they don't know what to do. There's going to be fighters out there that's listening to me right now. And you know what they say? True. And some of them are going, some of them don't want to admit it because they have to, how you say it? They have to pretend like they're celebrities, that they're always important to a bunch of people. But let me tell you like this. Once fight, when fight week is out and there's no more media, just think about fight week. They fight on Saturday, great win. By that Thursday, if it wasn't a huge fight, by that Thursday, Wednesday, they're regular people. They could walk around in Las Vegas. Nobody know who they are because everybody already took their plane back to their city. You could walk the streets of Times Square. You could walk the city in Dallas. Nobody knows them. We're living in the world right now. None of these fighters are like Mike Tyson and stuff like that. Oscar De La Hoya, highly recognizable. No. I seen Devin Haney walk in the streets of Manhattan. Nobody really knows. I seen T.O. walk. I seen even Ryan Garcia. People do know Ryan. Certain people know Tank. I've seen AJ, Anthony Joshua, walk around LES. I'm sorry, in Soho. And nobody said nothing to him. Nobody goes. Nobody knew who he was. And he was around West 4. Nobody knew who Anthony Joshua was. And he's a big star in the UK. But let me tell you like this. So then they got all this time for themselves. They start eating like they never ate before. That's why you always see these fighters gain so much weight, because you got to remember when they was young, they was high. They was always in the diet because they was in the amateurs. So they had to keep their weight down. By the time they hit the pro, all of a sudden they got 2 fights a year. You don't remember, go back to that interview with Earl Spence after the Sean Porter fight when he said, yo, I had to lose 20 pounds in one day. What's the issue? I got too much time for myself. I don't even know what to do. That's what Earl Spence said after the Sean Porter fight. Not right after. He did an interview weeks after. I have too much time for myself. I don't even know what to do. I can't stay in the gym and not know what was going to be next. But I don't got nothing to do. A lot of these fighters don't got nothing to do. And guess what? Now they get with shorties. They get with girls. Remember, they socially awkward, even with dudes, with friends. With women, double that, triple that. They socially awkward. They think that, they see a chick that's interested in them. They can't even handle that chick. They've never been in a situation. They've never been in real relationship. They never had a responsibility of taking care of another girl's feelings and stuff like that. And you know that when you're in a relationship, that little tension when you're arguing with a girl is really like, what's the nature of a fighter? How do they handle business? How do they shut somebody up? What do they know? Violence. That's all they know is violence. That's what they're made of. They're humans, but they're actually dogs in cages. Let me say it again. Fighters are humans, really, but they're actually dogs in cages. Why you think, put it this way, there's a saying in the sport of boxing or in the culture of boxing or that you remember the movie Rocky. I know this guy gonna say it's a movie, but of course there's a lot of realistic things and quotes in those Rocky movies. You remember that time in Rocky 3 when he tells Rocky, the worst thing that can happen to a fighter is what? Yeah, I know the line. Everybody watched the movie. The worst thing that can happen to a fighter is what? Come on, say it, y'all. Somebody put it in the chat. Somebody put it in the chat. The worst thing that can happen, what Mickey told Rocky in Rocky 3 after domesticated, he said civilized. The worst thing that can happen to a fighter when he's civilized. So what he's meaning, what's the opposite of that? Fighters need to be savages. So then you hear a fighter gets in problems, having fights outside of the ring. Punching people outside of the ring. Adrian Broner, we seen him snuff a dude in the ring. We seen Mike Tyson have fights, fist fight. He told a bunch of stories. We had fist fights and stuff like that. And now he's dealing with a woman. Now we're depending on this savage to turn it on and off whenever we feel, oh, no, come on, yo, why this fighter did that? I'm not excusing any fighter. Put it this way, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say it again. I'm not excusing any fighter, but let's not act like these fighters are normal. They're not normal human beings. I'm sorry, folks. They're not. They're not normal human beings. I cannot, even me as a boxing fan and been around fighters ever since I was very, very young. I understand fighters and stuff. I understand their lifestyle. It's a lifestyle I don't want to live. We depend on these fighters not to be civilized. And when they act like they're not civilized, we're like, yo, why he did this? Why he does that? These fighters been getting punched in the head since they was kids. Some of y'all gonna be like, that's not an excuse. Some of y'all gonna be like, yo, punch, but that's not an excuse. Shut the fuck up. Because again, similar like soldiers. Thank you. Queso. Yo, Queso. When I used to live with my grandmother in the Bronx, in Grand Concourse, this guy used to be in he used to be a soldier in the Vietnam. Put it this way, right? But this guy was so mental. He used to patrol Grand Concourse, right? He used to walk with a 2x4, like if it was a gun. He used to wear a coat, even in the summer. Coat, a thick coat. He had goggles like this, bro. goggles like this. Like if he was like regular glasses, he had goggles like if he was going to the pool. He'll parole the street. And guess who he would chase? He was already old, but guess who he would try to chase? Hey, you motherfucker! And he will roll down and act like he's shooting with the 2x4 with the wood. Guess who was enemy, bro? Guess who was his enemy, bro? And it was funny to watch because look, we kids, we don't understand that mindset. We just, we grow up and we're kids and we just kids in the street and we just look at guys with mental illness. He a bum, is that? But everybody got a story. But we learned to know who he is, and he was a chill dude. As soon as he see a Chinese delivery man on his bike, yo, that dude will turn. Thank you, Maton. That dude will turn crazy, bro. That dude will hide or he will chase. He will roll around, bro. Cars will have to stop. Cars will have to stop in Grand Caucus. Once he peeped an Asian on a bike, because that's the only really in the Bronx. That's the only Asian we was in the block, right? Was the Chinese store. He'll see an Asian pass by. He's rolling around, or he's hiding from them like that. Oh, or he'll yeah, get motherfucker, you're freaking. All these war guys will have to go to therapy after they come back home, and we understand them. We understand them. We look at these guys like heroes because they fought for our freedom. I understand that we don't have to look at these fighters like heroes because they ain't fighting for our freedom. They fighting for their they're fighting for their freedom, for their pockets, for their survival, for their a job to take care of their family, right? All fighters need therapy, bro. Because think about it. These fighters are going in training 12, 10, 8 weeks to go to war. For us, it's a sport. We just look at it. We cheer when somebody get knocked down, not giving a damn that guy probably not gonna be the same, right? We cheer because, again, us fight fans do not give a damn about the health of fighters because we pay to see another human strip the health from another human, right? We don't care about health. That's not our job. Our job is to see the hurt. That's our entertainment. Blood, black eyes, knockouts, right? We don't, matter of fact, right now, the sport, the boxing fans don't even want to see a 12-round bout. We want to see knockouts. Come on, man. He ain't get a knockout, bro. Come on. He's exposed, bro. So they go into training camp. They leave their families at home, right? They don't see their family. They go to training camp. As much as there's fighters that don't like to say it, they're fighting to kill another man in the ring. They train to kill the other man in the ring and not get killed at the same time. It's the same element. And guess what? They've been doing that their whole life. And now the fight is over. Now we're depending, the civilized people are depending this savage that's been a savage for 12 weeks to quickly turn it off. Hey, yo, ladies and gentlemen, I know actors, or I've learned of actors that after they do a role for 3 months, 5 months, they had to study for a role, that they had to go seek therapy. Johnny DiCaprio said that. Johnny Depp said that. Who else was a guy that said that as well? I remember Johnny Depp said that. Leonardo DiCaprio said that. Who else? The dude that died from The Wire. That he stayed in character. He said he stayed in character for a whole year after the series, after The Wire. You know who I knew from Hell's Kitchen, he's man cool. But he said that acting also messed up his life outside of acting. I forgot his name, but I knew, but he always used to walk his dog and stuff like that. And I used to play basketball in a tournament in Manhattan Plaza where Alicia Keys lived at, right? Used to live at. You remember the movie Principal? Remember the movie Heartbeats? Heartbeats, the guy with the deep voice from Sugar, and that movie Sugar Hill with Wesley Snipes. Remember that movie? Huh? When the guy that sings "Not Like This," raindrops will fall. Queso, colorete, peso. A comprar comida china mañana. Random thought: if Nelo never fights again, is Bud Tucson, aka Stealer of Soul, aka Mr. Get a Nigga Gone? I gotta say that probably Bud. I say Bud is the GOAT. If Canelo Alvarez retire, arguably he's gonna be the GOAT, to be honest, because he retired Sean Porter, he retired Earl Spence, and he retired Canelo Alvarez. Yo, he's the pink slip, bro. He's Bud Crawford, aka 401k. He is your 401k plan. He is Bud Crawford, aka 401k. Because Earl Spencer haven't been back in the ring, so he's retired to me. Sean Porter retired. Canelo retired. Shit. And all retire around the same age too, in their prime. Because Canelo Alvarez was still in the back of his prime. Sean Porter ain't look like he was really out. Sean Porter was out. I mean, he retired, but he didn't look like he was that shit, like washed up. Porter did good in that fight. Earl Spence came back. He just came from a victory when he broke the orbital bone of Ugas. Yeah, he's the soul snatcher. He's the Undertaker, bro. He's the Undertaker. Good looking out, kid. So appreciate you, my brother. But yeah, man, if Bud retires Canelo, exactly, and imagine 12 weeks and lost opportunity, fight then jail. So then these fighters, fighters understand. You know, one of the good things I like about these fighters nowadays, and I've been guilty of not giving mental illness the benefit of the doubt, because I feel like mental illness did. I have a bad relations with mental illness. I feel like mental illness, and I don't want to get too personal, but I'll say this in another mental illness, depression. Depression really took away a great relation I had with one of my parents. Put it that way. I'll say it just like that. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason I speak highly about my grandmother as well. There was things that went in the household and stuff like that where I couldn't even be around, or I couldn't even be with a girl that will say, "Oh, I got depression, or I'm bipolar, or I'm this and that." And I'm like, "Yo, I'm not the type of dude that I'm not that type of dude. You got to go seek a doctor." That used to like turn me off. It wasn't about the girl. Is the emotional attachment who I lost, the relationship that I lost because of mental illness. So I hated mental illness. I hated somebody telling me that they got HD, what was it? HDHD, something like that. I didn't like that. I didn't want to hear nothing about that. I didn't want to hear nothing about that. I mean, to go see a doctor. but you're gonna be in a relationship. You got to be there emotionally for. I can't. Nah, I can't. I can't deal with that. You know what I'm saying? So then when I started hearing athletes talk about mental illness, like mental illness, shit, come on, man, yeah, that's weak. That's weakness, ADHD. That's me. Charles, she said ADHD. Yeah, I learned that's a lot of people. Um, can't focus on shit, right? Um, but then how I got so humbled by it, by mental, is that my son is autistic. So that right there taught me a lot of patience, right? So that really humbled me. At first, I thought it was chemical imbalance. I was trying to I knew my son had something when he was already 5 months old, because I have an older son, King, and very ahead, that's my baby and stuff like that, right? And then my son, I just noticed there was something wrong, and his mother, she didn't like, no, wait, no, he's growing. He'll change you that. And I'm like, nah, something wrong with him. So when my son, Caden, he got diagnosed 3 years old, right? And they was like, oh, we don't diagnose that early. So then come again. And we went through all these tests. I had to take him to this hospital, this clinic, this program, this speech therapist, this, that, right? And my son to this day, still, my 8-year-old still talks like if he's a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, like a smart 3-year-old, right? Like he understands, but he don't get everything like that. Like my daughter speaks better than him. My daughter already reads. He's still like learning how to read. Like he's gotten so much better this past year, but he's autistic, right? And that's how I got humbled by, mental. To be honest, I still didn't humble me, because I was like, yo, if I ever hear anybody call my son stupid, I think I would snap, I would snap, just, So, but that's tough as a parent as well. But it's also is a blessing, because he does things that, like, it's certain things that he does so good, better than what you call a normal kid at that, right? Like he's a very orderly kid. He makes everything in order. He remembers things, and he like puts things in line without having to really, like, if he puts a phone here and you take it away from that little spot, he'll notice it. If it's like a little inch, he'll notice it. Like they are perfection in certain other things. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a perfectionist in other things. He may not talk. He may not talk good. He may not understand, but in his little world, he does certain things that a normal kid wouldn't do or figure out like that. It's crazy. And I'm learning. I'm a parent, so I'm learning on the way. But anyway, fighters. Fighters get with these women, and they don't know how to take that same discipline that they in the gym, that same discipline at war, and they cannot. They can't. They don't know how to handle themselves. They don't know how to handle themselves. All these high-profile fighters. Shout out to the Charlo brothers. I feel your punch. My nephew is the same. Good looking out, man. God bless him, bro. God bless him. So I see these fighters have certain things as well. And I was about to say that one thing I like about these fighters is that they have acknowledged that they want help. They have acknowledged that they need help. Rolly said he needed help. Teofimo Lopez said after the fight, after the fight with Vasily Lomachenko, and it was during the Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury leading up to their fight, he said, I've thought about killing myself 3 times this year. Yo, that just skipped over everybody's head. He said, I thought about suicide 3 times this year. But leading up to the fight of George Camboso, he was going through with his wife. Leading up to Tank and Haney, Ryan Garcia was going through it with his baby mama. We know Tank's story. You know what I'm saying? Like, they seek for spiritual enlightenment, or they want to seek help. But at every time when these fighters say that they need help, the boxing world treats them more like trash. When Ryan Garcia was asking for help and wanted help and pulled out of a fight for his mental health, we called them a bitch. We called them a diva. We called them golden boys, golden girl. Remember, he pulled out of the Linares fight July 4th. Remember that time? And the world called him a bitch. Teofimo Lopez, even I disagreed on him pulling out from the Devin Haney fight. What did Keith Connolly came out and say? That he's dealing with certain things, that when he gets the help that he needs, he'll be back in the ring. The boxing world crucified Teofimo Lopez. Gervonta Tank Davis, leading up to the Roach fight, he said, I don't want to fight no more. I'm going to retire after the year. I want to seek therapy. I want help. I want to be the best person I could be. That's all I worry about. Gervonta Tank Davis said, I want to go back to school. Guess what we did to Gervonta Tank Davis after the NYC press conference? Everybody spoke shit about him, bro. Meaning that even when these fighters want help, we don't support them from seeking help. But then when we hear that these fighters beat on a woman, get locked up, have substance abuse, yo, these motherfuckers need help. These motherfuckers need help. But when they go want to seek help, then we switch it around them and say that they divas. They're not mentally strong. They're weak. Man, these motherfuckers ain't shit. These dudes ain't like guys like back in the days. False. These guys like back in the days was also getting in the same trouble that they're getting like these fighters today. Just like I pulled out Julio Cesar Chavez. Pernell Whitaker also got locked up for domestic violence. Marvin Hagler. Put it this way. Look at Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler. Hold on. Marvin Hagler, beloved Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler was involved in a domestic case in 1987 and 1991. In 1987, this then estranged wife, Bertha Hagler, filed a civil petition for a restraining order after claiming he threw her out of their home and hurled and boulder at her car. In 1981, he pleaded guilty to reduced charge of an assault and battery against a former girlfriend, Lisa, who alleged he broke her jaw in an argument. He was sentenced to probation and community service in 1991. Marvin Hagler broke his girlfriend's jaw. Marvin Hagler, one of the most devastating punches in middleweight history. And he pleaded guilty. I didn't know that about Marvin Hagler. I didn't know that about Marvin Hagler. I learned that yesterday. Every fight, most 90% of the fighters that we respect at the highest level, domestic violence. Most of these guys abuse women, bro. The most disciplined fighters. and the most loved as well. Look at Julio Cesar Chavez, Marvin Hagler. Look. I could just look at Pernell Whitaker. Sweet Pete Whitaker, one of the most disciplined and defensive fighters of all time. Pernell Whitaker was involved in a 1994 assault case after a nightclub altercation, but the city attorney declined to prosecute. He was later arrested in 1996. 1996, the same year that Julio Cesar Chavez was arrested. In 1996, for assaulting a police officer during the crowd control in San Antonio, facing charges of felony assault on a police officer. He was not charged with a domestic violence. Wait. Whitaker was arrested. That was a police officer. What was the one that I seen that Pernell Whitaker? It was a dismissed one. Pernell Whitaker evicts 73-year-old mother out of her house. Wow. He evicted his own mother out of the house. Wow. Shit. Talk about not respecting women. How you evict your own mother at 73 years old? Bivol. Didn't Bivol's wife last year was saying that Bivol, look it, Dimitri Bivol has made a public allegation of domestic violence, physical abuse, and emotional manipulation against him and his family. Electra claimed Bivol physically assaulted her on at least one occasion, leaving bruises, and that her children witnessed the incident. She alleged that when he confronted by her father, Bivol claimed she had inflicted the injuries upon herself. And guess what? We didn't care. You know why we didn't care? Because we wanted to see Bivol versus Beterbiev. We didn't care about that. Tank is just in that world that's seen all kinds of wild, devilish. It became nothing. The world was chaotic. No passes, but no judgment yet either. Who else? So we got Bivol. We got Tank. Haney. Shakur didn't have a relationship, but the issue why he was locked up in 2019 was that it was between them and girls. Shakur Stevenson involved in 2018 Miami parking and garage brawl included women being struck, but the incident was classified as a general battery case, not a domestic violence. But there was women involved. Stevenson was initially charged with misdemeanor battery, which was later upgraded to felony battery by the state attorney's office. In June 2019, he accepted a plea deal, which resulted in a sentence of 1 year of probation and 50 hours of community service. The victim also filed a lawsuit, found Stevenson liable for $60,000 in damages to one male victim who suffered a broken jaw and other injuries. The amount awarded was significantly less than the $1 million sought by the plaintiff. But it was all started because of women. The incident involved Stevenson and a fellow boxer, David Grayton, in an altercation with a group of people, including 2 women, after allegedly making a sexual innuendos surveillance footage of the fight, which showed a man being severely beaten and a woman being struck, surfaced later. 2 boxers. It wasn't Shakur Stevenson that hit the girl, but it was his boy that was also a boxer. Now let's go. What's another name? Give me another name. Give us another name. Did Roberto Duran? I don't think Roberto Duran had a domestic violence. We heard about. Oh yeah, y'all remember this guy? I know y'all remember this guy. Let me see if it's this one. Kovalev. Kovalev accused of punching a woman in the face in June. Remember the Sergey Kovalev one? In the plane? Kovalev was arrested on June 9th in connection with an incident in Big Bear in which he is accused of punching a woman in the face. What's going on with these fighters? What's going on with these fighters, ladies and gentlemen? Fighters, man, I know y'all looking on. I know y'all know y'all boy Punch Drunk. Now I know every incident is not, some of them is false allegations. Let's not forget Rolly Romero's. Let's not forget why Gervonta Tan Davis fought Pitbull Cruz, because Rolly Romero was being sexual allegations, physical allegations, and that's why they pulled the fight away from pulled them out of the fight. Showtime pulled Rolly out that fight. Let's go with Rolly Romero. Let's go with Rolly Romero. Let's Rolly Romero. No charge. No charges after Ronald Romero after investigation into sexual assault. 5 women, and then 5 women all dropped the case. All these women magically disappeared. All these women magically disappeared. How about what's his name? Casimero. Jean Riel Casimero. Jean Riel. Jean-Riel Casimero has been accused of sexual abuse. Complaint filed by Women and Children Protection in the Philippines. Y'all remember that one? Jean-Riel Casimero. What about Victor Ortiz? Y'all remember Victor Ortiz? Jailed for rape and won his case. What about Jamel Charlo? Jamel Charlo also won his case. He was acquitted. So Victor Ortiz was acquitted. Jamel Charlo was acquitted for domestic violence, and he has some couple of cases. Jamal Charlo has a couple of cases, and they was dropped. Shout out to the Charlo brothers. What about Prince Nassim? Did Prince Nassim had a case? Prince Nassim. Hold on, folks. He has no public available domestic violence cases. No, he doesn't have. Boxer Sedana Prince was accused of domestic violence by ex-girl. Sedana Prince. There are 2 people named Prince Nassim and 1 person named Sedana Prince who had been involved in domestic. Nazim Ahmed, no. Which is this one? That was a Deontay Wilder. I think that was the Deontay Wilder one. Edwin Valero. The famous, the infamous Edwin Valero story. Edwin Valero killed himself in his cell on April 19, 2010, hours after being arrested for the murder of his wife, Jennifer Vieira de Valero. He was found hanging in his cell, and authorities confirmed the death of both him and his wife. His wife had been found stabbed to death in a hotel in Valencia, Venezuela, and Valero had reportedly confessed to the crime. Edwin Valero killed his wife. Ladies and gentlemen, this community, commissions, belt federations, networks, has given the green light to these fighters to continually abuse women. But because they're into it's so much money into this entertainment, they don't consider these fighters human like that. They don't consider those that they hurt important enough. There is no real, we don't hold fighters accountable. Again, because we don't care. We look at them like pit bulls. We look at them like fighting dogs. We look at them as roosters. It's almost like when a dog hurts a person. They don't blame the dog. There's people out there that protect dogs more than they protect humans. They'll be like, no, it's not the dog's fault. It's the way that they was trained. How many times you heard that, folks? How many times you heard when the dog acts up? When a dog acts up and they be like, it's not the dog problems, it's the trainer or their owner. It's the owner's fault. Don't hurt the dog. It's not the dog's fault that he barks like that. It's not the dog's fault that he ate that baby. It's not the dog that ripped the arm off or bit this person. That's the trainer. Right? Same way you like that dog in your house is the same way you like that your garage yard dog that guards your property, that killer. You love them just like you love that dog that's in the house that you pet, that sleeps with your children, the one that you kiss in the mouth. Fighters are just like that. Should fighters get the benefit of the doubt? Us knowing that they're not all well in the head? Do they get a pass? Because they get a pass for being a savage. We pay for them to be a savage. We're entertained by them to being a savage. We cannot pretend to think that fighters are normal human beings. I think it's time for us to stop pretending that fighters are not human beings, are not normal human beings. They are damaged human beings. They're highly damaged human beings. They are war ready, not war ready to kill with a gun, but they handle their business with this. I've seen a Doberman pin a kid to the wall for fucking with its owner. Kid, that shit was crazy. You already know how dogs be protecting their owners. Dog be protecting their owners. I'm gonna tell you another thing. Now, I always say that boxing translates to life itself, and this is why it's not good. He said, "For ba F&F Pizzeria, F&F Pizzeria. That's the pizzeria that you're talking about. You're about to head to the pizzeria. Pizzeria. Usted está no, tú no estás en dieta, eh. ¿Qué es eso? Con los 10 pesos, comprar pizza. Tú vas a comprar, tú vas a comer pizza ahora. A esta hora. ¿Qué es eso? All the answer is their problems have been unleashed. It's not the answer, but it's the pattern. I don't know, bro. Guys, I don't know, man. We gotta hold these fighters accountable, but also we gotta hold the women that be having false accusation accountable as well. Pizza sounds fire right now. Yo, Rap and Punch too real for the claim to be real in the YTBC. Good looking out, brother. These are subjects that nobody want to talk about. Why they don't talk about this on ESPN? Why they don't talk about this? Why they don't talk about this? The Ring Magazine, Max Kellerman and stuff like that. Talk about this subject right here. This is the number one subject in the sport of boxing right now. Boxing is very, very slow. Of course, we do got Virgil Ortiz versus Erickson Lubin. I can't wait to see that fight. But let's talk about it. I think this is the topic. I don't have high traffic. I'm not a high traffic channel and stuff like that. But I believe that this is a topic that a lot of people should really talk about. What is the issue? What is and maybe bring on the fighters. Bring on the fighters that probably had a domestic violence situation. Speak out. Or speak out if you had been there was false allegation upon you towards you about these domestic violence. Crazy baby mama. We heard about them. There's crazy baby mamas out there too. There's crazy women out there that want to not jail these dudes, but want to take their money as well. There's a lot of lying women out there, but there's a lot of dudes beating up women as well. There's a lot of women that lie, but there's a lot of dudes, especially fighters, that's beating on their women. And these are the conversations that nobody want to have. You know why they don't want to have this conversation? Because a bunch of these media folks is so scared that if they have this conversation, that the fighters that they do respect, they want to have interviews, don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. We even seen the video. We seen the video of Floyd Schofield Sr. It went viral. It went viral. Floyd Schofield Sr. and his son was there, a fighter. Now, put it this way. Let's say Floyd Schofield Jr. has an incident like that. You know what everybody going to be saying? He learned it from his dad. I mean, look at the video that we all saw. They're going to be like, yo, he learned it from his dad. Even boxing trainers has gone through it. Mayweather Sr. Check out Mayweather Sr. Hold on, look. Check this out. Mayweather Sr. Mayweather Sr. Floyd Mayweather Sr. was arrested for misdemeanor battery charge in 2018, to which he pleaded not guilty. He was later acquitted. See, some of these guys have been acquitted as well. Allegations. A woman accused Floyd Mayweather Sr. of pulling her from his vehicle and punching her in the leg during an argument in 2017. She reportedly received hospital treatment for bruises. The outcome, Mayweather Sr. lawyer maintained that allegations were an attempt to extort money. After a bench trial, a judge found him not guilty of the charge. So shout out to Floyd Mayweather Sr. He beat that charge. The Charlo brothers beat that charge. What about Oscar De La Hoya? One of my favorite fighters, Oscar De La Hoya. He's been through these allegations with a domestic violence, sexual allegations. Check this out. Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya. Hold on. Accused of assaulting women twice in 2020. He was accused. All these fighters are accused, man. Let's check out Ryan Garcia. I know Ryan Garcia was going back and forth with his baby mama. I don't know. Hold on. I don't know if he ever hit anybody. Let's say Ryan Garcia. In 2024, domestic violence restraining order against Ryan Garcia, which his estranged wife, Andrea Salina, had been pursuing, was dissolved as part of a settlement agreement. There are no current active domestic violence charges against him in November 2025. Allegation and restraining order in July 2024, Salina alleged that Garcia had become menacing, threatening, and erratic, posting screenshots of text where Garcia made violent threats against her family, and temporary domestic violence restraining order was put in place against them. Look at the financial custody agreement. The agreement included a significant financial commitment from Garcia, who agreed to pay Salina over $23,000 per month. Diablo, $23 a month, $23,000 per month, plus additional expenses for credit card bills and car and health insurance for her and their 2 children. For me, that's extortion right there. Ryan Garcia, his baby mother, is extorting him. That's not even child support. That's not child support. The agreement included a significant financial commitment from Garcia, who agreed to pay Salina over $23,000 per month, plus additional expenses for credit card bills, a car, health insurance for her and their children. ¿Y qué es eso, mi hermano? So Ryan Garcia is paying his ex-wife health insurance. I never heard that shit before. So I gotta pay my kids and my ex-wife, but I got a new girl and I got a new wife, and so I gotta pay. So I mean, when she go to the dentist to get a clean, he pays for that. Wow. No wonder he was stressed out. No wonder he was stressed out. Maybe that's the reason why he lost that fight versus Rowley. He didn't give a damn. All I'm saying is, bro, it's crazy, man. Why these fighters, man, women is their downfall, man. Women, they're not disciplined with women because I think they're socially awkward. They're not disciplined with other people outside of the gym. They don't have good communications with people outside of the gym. They don't know how to pick good friends. They don't know how to pick good surroundings. How many times you hear fighters saying that they robbed them? They can't handle it. They don't know what they signed. They have women issues. More fighters land broke, not only because they mismanage their money, is they never had real people around them to even uplift them, to help them on a rainy day, because they never had real friends. They never had real friends. And the people even the closest to them, like family, takes advantage of them. They don't do nothing. They don't work. They depend on fighters to take care of them. And then when they're going through stuff, they don't got people around them that do their thing to take care of them when they go on their downfall. Adrian Broner had an entourage. Adrian Broner was all about billions, had all this money. And shout out to Coach Cunningham, because Kevin Cunningham tried to help Adrian Broner. But outside of him, why is Adrian Broner calling Cameron the other day so he could lend him $400 to get back home? Adrian Broner didn't even have $400 to get back home. What happened to all those entourage? What happened to all those people? What happened to all those people that you put on? What happened to all those people that when you club with and gave money and and went to the strip club and bought them clothes or opened a business with them, whatever happened to all those people? It is no way that fighters that reach to the level of the Mike Tysons and the Julio Cesar Chavez and the Riddick Bowes and stuff like that, and all of a sudden hear that they broke and have nothing. But man, if you check out their heyday, look at all the people around them. And guess what happens when a dog don't got it no more? What do they do to a dog? What do they do to a dog like Old Yeller when they don't got it no more? What happened to that fighting dog that can't fight no more? You can't make money off that dog no more. What they do to that dog? What they do to that dog? They put him out. They take him out. They kill that dog. Behind the woodshed, they put that dog to sleep. Also, there are situations when there's a big plot. These financial people and these smart people around these fighters know exactly how to take advantage of these fighters. And they also include bringing in these type of women to take them down as well. As much, this is a conspiracy theory to me. Is more to the story with Mike Tyson and Desiree Washington. Why you need these powerful people sometimes to go to jail? To take advantage of their money. They don't know how much. They can't count the money that they made. Mike Tyson can't count how much money he really made. Put him in jail. Put Tank in jail. Put Diddy in jail. Put R. Kelly in jail. Put Michael Jackson in jail. Put Bill Cosby in jail. It's all about money. I always make a joke out of the Adam and Eve, but it's really, I really do believe in my joke. Sometimes jokes, right? Sometimes the joke is to laugh, but I really feel about that joke. The devil needed to go through Eve to get to the man. Is the same blueprint, my brother. Is the same blueprint. These power entities also make sure to have these women get with that man to fuck them over. The serpent couldn't just go straight to Adam. Nah, Adam was already, he was disciplined with God. What got him off discipline is the bitches. I'm sorry, not the bitches, I'm sorry. Eve, the bitch. It was Eve that ate from the forbidden tree after having a conversation with the devil. And to this day, the same blueprint is run. Devin Haney, how did you get in a position? Knowing the history, and I'm just saying, I'm using him as an example. You can have any woman. You in a position that you could travel the world. You're in a position with powerful people. You in the position. You telling me out of all the girls, you picked a noticeable escort chick, high-class hooker for half of her life to be your baby mother. Who convinced you that that was okay? Let's be real. Right, Queso? It's not like nobody knew who she was. She was a Taz angel. She's way older than Devin Haney. She's been la mamada, la mamada, la mamada, la mamada. She's been a Taz angel ever since she was an 18-year-old. So she's been a scoochie for a long time. She ran through everybody in Miami. How do you put yourself in position to be with this girl and nobody around you Be like, hey, yo. Devin. What are you doing with that? If you want to be with that, I'll take it a hunch point. And just date all the hookers. Pa eso, estúpido. But it's the same. A lot of these dudes, they get with these girls that they know. Yo, if you make it without a chick, don't use the Derek Jeter philosophy, man. I want somebody, anybody that knows Derek Jeter, please can you forward him my statements? I want Derek Jeter to write a book, how athletes and men in his position should go by having relations with women during their career as an athlete. Derek Jeter was the man. Derek Jeter is the smartest dude. Derek Jeter is the smartest dude. He ain't wife up no chick, date here and there, never had a baby. No. I'm going to pay attention to my career, and then after my career, I can have fun with y'all. Now I'm going to pay attention to y'all. These dudes, these boxers right away, they get with little shorty that pay attention to them, or shorty that they know that they couldn't get without being a boxer. And right away, they're going to have a baby. Right away, they want to get married. A lot of people, I'm gonna tell you like this. a lot of these people make fun of, like, let's say Blueface. I know that guy Blueface and his girl and his baby mama, the crazy baby mama, that guy that lost a tooth. That baby mama that have a tattoo on her face of Blueface. What's her name? Something Rock, Crystal Rock, Chrissy Rock, something like that, right? All these dudes are like her. All these dudes, all these boxers are like her. They act like, they cool, they dress up, they go, they get the girl. All these dudes are just like her. Just like she's in love with just like she's in love with, a lot of people deem like, yo, what you doing with that dude? That dude's not about nothing, a gang member or whatever. Un tigre de basura. Ese tigre basura. The same thing with these men. I hope these boxers see this video, man. Thank you, man. I hope too. And some of them are watching. They just don't want to, you know what I'm saying? But they should speak out. They should hold themselves accountable. They should have a brotherhood. I hear this so many times that boxing is a lonely sport. Well, all these fighters, why don't y'all get together and be like brothers? You know what I'm saying? I know that boxing has this divided thing. These fighters should fighters that do it right should be teaching these fighters, you know, how to handle women, how to handle business, the thing is, in boxing, all these people are waiting to see somebody's downfall so they could get in their position. You know, and that's not right as well, man. That's not right as well. We look at Mayweather. Hey, Mayweather, they say that Mayweather helped out Gervonta Davis' career. But also outside of the ring with Mayweather with women. Shit, look at Gervonta Davis outside of the ring with women. Shit, both of these guys, maybe Gervonta Davis did learn more than what he was supposed to learn. Allegedly. Did Gervonta Davis learn more than just getting money? Or he learned everything and more, how to treat the ladies? Enough about Tank Talk. He got cooked by Jake Paul. No, this is about fighters. You saw the thumbnail, Joker. You saw the thumbnail. You saw the title. You know what this live is about, Joker. What you want to talk about? Andy Cruz and Motorola? Not today. But yeah, man, these fighters, I don't. And again, it's just not Gervonta Tank Davis. It was Julio Cesar Chavez back in the days. It was Marvin Hagler back in the days. Floyd Mayweather. A bunch of these old guys. A bunch of the guys that we would respect. A bunch of legends. Didn't Gotti was the one? It wasn't Gotti's woman that killed him, allegedly, or Tura Gotti's wife that killed him, so a woman that killed him. That's what they said. What about Felix Verdejo? Y'all remember Felix Verdejo? Let me see. I got Felix Verdejo right here. Which is this one? Which is this one? Oh, that was a Deontay Wilder one. No, that's Deontay Wilder. What's the Felix Verdejo one? Hold on. Hold on. Let me upload this one. Felix Verdejo, ex-boxer, convicted of killing pregnant lover Keishla Rodriguez Ortiz, gets life sentence. Y'all remember Felix Verdejo? Son abusadores, estos hombres son abusadores. While they're still working in the streets. But yeah, man, that was today's live, man, folks. Hold on. Something needs to be. Well, all that sanctioning fees that these fighters pay, man, there has to be therapy, man. Therapy, couples therapy, and therapy, man. It's supposed to be boxers supposed to have a therapy, a bunch of therapy sessions right after training camp and right after a fight. Just like actors get therapy after doing a role for a long time and they need to get back to themselves because they get into that character. Just like a fighter, they get into the character of a savage, a character of a killer, a character of a fighter, and then they need to turn it off right quick when they go back into their house with their woman and stuff like that. And sometimes they still fight in mode. They still have the scars. A fighter can't even be comfortable when he's making weight. He already got an attitude, bro. I know certain fighters that can't be around their women when they cutting weight. So what is the solution? Because we always talk about the issues. What are the solutions? The solution is there has to be a way that these fighters seek immediate help after a war, after fighting. For a long period of time, they're only fighting 2 times a year. So they should be in therapy leading up to their next training camp. Because they're about to get into that mode again. They should have couple therapy and family therapy. These women and these women need to understand also how to handle a fighter, how to talk to a fighter, how to talk to their man. If you're not ready to be with a fighter that's going to be twitchy and stuff like that, you got to understand that personality and his work. The kids, family therapy. They should have individual therapy, couples therapy, and family therapy. Should have all of that right away. Mandatory. Mandatory. It should be mandatory. If you did not seek therapy, then you can't get a fight. You can't be, your fight can't be sanctioned. Like that. It has to be something like that. Because these fighters not human, man. These fighters is not normal. And we can't be treating these fighters as normal human beings. They're not. They don't think like one. They don't act like it. They're not regular human beings, and their work is not regular human beings. So in that, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they're not normal. I'm not giving them a pass for the bad actions that they do outside of the ring. But I also don't look at the fighters that they all up in there. No. It's common sense that you a fighter your whole life and a fighter for a living. That's the way that you feed your family. That you have a violent personality. I won't be surprised. Just as much that I see is fucked up, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised if a fighter in the street knocks out a dude or gets into a fist fight and they got a short temper. I won't be surprised if a fighter. I'm just not surprised. And look like the boxing world is not surprised when we see Gervonta Tank Davis go through things like this. When we see fighters of today go through things, old fighters go through things. Because their mind is, the more they fight, the more their brain don't work. Let me know what y'all think, man. This Punch Drunk Boxing. Love y'all. My throat is hurting, man. I'm a little bit sick. I'm under the weather. So I'm going to keep this one a little bit short because my throat just hurting too much right now. Love y'all. Subscribe to the channel. Smash the like button. Love you. God bless. And on to the next. Queso. If you can, tú sabes, tírame. I want to know if your health is good, family is good, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. I want to know that you're good, man. You know what I'm saying? Love you, my brother, and love everybody else in the chat. Peace out.